with the Chief. My name is Daniel Robus. I'm your host, and I am hosting from a not so sunny Johannesburg. It's been raining. Who knew it rained in June? It's freezing cold. So I'm going to keep the energy levels up so that I don't start chattering. And we are joined by Ross Larter from Sure Trading. And I believe you are sitting in a sunny or wet Cape Town.
Yes, good morning, Daniel, and thank you very much for inviting me. Yes, Cape Town is, we had a bit of rain, and so it's a little bit wet, but today is sunny and calm, actually. It's lovely.
Oh, brilliant. Unlike the volatile market that we're sitting in at the moment, there's anything but calm with what's going on around the world and Europe, and crypto's crashing, and there's just blood in the passages there. But that's pretty cool. It makes it a nice topical talk that we're going through.
Yes.
Ross, you've got a brilliant website which talks of investment trading as if anyone can do it. I can't wait to dive into this discussion because I'm really not comfortable on how to do it and where to invest. But before we do that, let's find out a little bit more about you. Ross Larter, the teacher, the trainer, the business owner. Where did you start your career?
Well, of course, I go back a good couple of years, and so I won't...
Not 25.
Yes, definitely not. And I started my career really working for the Goldfields Group. I was a very young personnel manager there. Yeah, long story short, let me go back to where I originate. I actually was born to a sheep farming father, and in the Eastern Cape, and so I'm a farm boy.
Wow,
and,
where in the Eastern Cape?
It's in a little town called Maltino, where they still make Omar rusks.
Wow.
Yes, and so my dad was a sheep farmer there, and I was born into that type of lifestyle, and but of course it necessitated that we go to boarding school right from sub A or grade 1. And so I spent my schooling at boarding school, most of that,
St.
all of it. Queen's College.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's where I started out. I was educated at Queen's College, and after that, as I said, I went into the Goldfields Group, and I did quite well there. But I always wanted to be my own boss, sort of thing, and so I landed up a good number of years later in the ministry. I was actually the pastor of a church in a little town called Berkeley East, which is just below. It's on the southern tip of the Drakensberg.
Nice.
Which, near the ski resort, Tiffendale.
Yeah.
That's where, yeah. And we were there for a number of years. But what happened was, we'd always considered, we were running a church there, and we'd always considered starting a little private school attached to the church. And we liked the idea and everything like that. We had seen people running very successful. It was based on the Montessori system, where each child would sort of go at their own pace. And in 1994, when things were changing in the country, we had been asking the local school to consider, having all race groups in the school, and they were dragging their heels. And we felt that was the right time to start this private school. And it was itself a very interesting journey. We started it with 7 children, my 2 children being 2 of the 7 children that were in the school. And we'd made it known in the local community that we were going to open a boarding school facility, for those who weren't in the town, because it's a very small town. And well, the school grew from 7 children to 140 in 1.5 years.
Wow.
And so we became so busy with the school that we decided to go full time into the school. And yeah, I mean, we had offered boarding school facilities, so we hired one house, and then we hired a second house, and then eventually the local hotel owner actually came to us and said, "Why don't you buy the hotel?" There were 2 hotels, and so we bought the hotel as a hostel. Ran it as a hostel. So we were running quite a good organization there. There were 40 odd staff members, including cooks and teachers and so on and so forth. But when my children reached senior school level, our school had not fully developed into a senior school. So we had some decisions that we had to make. And we decided, that we weren't going to send our children to boarding school. I was at boarding school all my life. My parents didn't have a choice, but I felt I had a choice. And so we decided actually to hand the school over to somebody else very capable of running the school. And we moved to East London, which was the big city for us. And so we moved to East London, and I was approached to start another school there, but decided against it. Okay. And, I was looking around for business opportunities. I sort of got involved in 1 or 2 businesses, but then an acquaintance really came to me one day, and he said, "Ross, you've always been teaching people different things. Why don't you teach people how to trade on the stock market?" I said, "I don't know anything about the stock market. All I know is what they say on the news, and so I had I didn't have a financial background or anything like that. But I needed an income. And so I decided to take up the challenge to learn how this whole thing works, and this was in early 2002. And so this is now 20 years, February 2002, when we started our small stock market education business called Sure Trading. And my focus at that stage, obviously I had less than no money myself. So my focus was to learn the process and position myself to be able to teach other people how to do it. And that was where my income would come from, was to, obviously start mentorship sessions and so on. I had some people that were mentoring me. And so we started our business in 2002 and introducing people to the stock market. Now, in those days, of course, the internet was just starting and didn't have the sophisticated online platforms that we have now to be able to do your own trading. You had to phone the broker to get transactions done. And so it was very interesting. But so our business grew from there. And then I was introduced to derivatives trading just a couple of years after that, and very impressed with it, with the derivatives trading, which is basically a more active trading.
More hands-on kind of DIY
more hands-on
stuff.
And that's I'm talking about forex trading and contracts for difference and index trading and so on, where you can make money basically when the market's going up, and you can also make money when the market's going down, which is a sort of a foreign concept for most people, obviously. And so basically what happened is our children finished school and they left, and so it was just my wife and myself, and we decided actually to move to Cape Town. My business is the type that can go anywhere, firstly, and secondly, our daughter had just graduated from university in Cape Town, and so we moved to Cape Town, and one of the privileged folks who live within 5 kilometers of our son and our daughter.
Wow. And, wow. In South African context, that's big. That is
absolutely huge. So we can watch our grandchildren grow up and everything like that. So that's wonderful.
Wow.
But anyway, we moved to Cape Town. We moved to Cape Town It's about 14 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we started off here. One of the things that I realized, Daniel, in this particular business is that you can very quickly feel isolated and alone. And so when we first started our business, the first priority was to basically create an infrastructure where we could be supportive of our people and mentoring them. And so I have meetings every week. I hired a venue in East London, and we had meetings every week there. And I was doing the same in Cape Town. I was approached by a brokerage company, a company called Velocity Trade. One of the directors, chap by the name of Dan Carter, not
the rugby player. I guess he's heard that 100 times. I can't believe I did that. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, he said to me, we've been watching you working. I don't know how he sort of got hold of me, but we were hiring venues around town to be hands-on with our clients and so on. And he actually said to me, he said, we are starting a South African offering. It's an international company. We're starting our South African offering. And we've got premises, and we would like to invite you to use our premises to train your clients and to meet with your clients and so on. And the brokerage office is about 2.5 kilometers away from my home. So that also helps. I work from home. Yeah. So we've had a very good relationship with our brokers all the years. And so that's how we got involved, So I don't have a financial background, and yet, I was very soon after I started in 2002. I was very soon trading myself, but my initial thing was to educate others, and to trade on the side, and that's still what I do. I love my interaction with the people. There's a big demand. Lots of people want to get going with their own money. They want to look after their own money, and they want to be able to create additional income streams and so on. So there's a lot of demand for what we do, but it is quite tricky. It's not complicated. It is tricky, and but that's what we do. Now, what happened was, in 2016, I was approached by Penguin Books to write a book. They said to me, would you consider writing a book that would help the ordinary South African benefit from the stock market? Because of course we have the majority of South Africa that were never exposed to the stock market at all, and as a result of that, many of them desire to make money on the stock market, and but you do unfortunately get unscrupulous people that will promise them the earth and make it sound so easy and so on and so forth, that a lot of people get hoodwinked into spending money that they don't have to get back a huge amount, and it adds up to nothing. It's actually tragic. But and in this book, I took up the challenge, of writing this book.
Yeah. And
it just so happened that 2016 was, for me personally, a very difficult trading year, and so I really homed in on the pitfalls of trading as well in the book. Sort of. I said, I don't want to put you off, but it's not just a matter of learning how to press a couple of buttons and you're going to get rich, And this is, of course, what you get in YouTube. You get so many video clips and so on and so forth, promising you the earth when it comes to the stock market. And so, we were very surprised actually at how the book really has sold very well. And
awesome. And what's it called?
It's called How to Make Money on the Stock Market.
Stunning.
And stock exchange. how to make money on the stock exchange.
And where can we get it? Where can we get it?
You can get it online, but it's in all the bookshops.
Okay.
You know, all the bookshops. How to make money on the stock exchange, and I've just actually recently, and in fact, this is the last month now.
Yeah.
I've recently been asked by them again to write another book.
Amazing.
So,
this is going to be a murder mystery.
No. This is going to. I'm going to concentrate a little bit more on investing. You know, my initial book was on trading alone, really, and this is going to be investing and trading.
Awesome.
But you see, what happened was, you know, when my book came out in early 2017, all of a sudden, people, you know, I was dealing with mostly the local community here, and speaking to people locally here. And we had a couple of people that obviously saw our website originally, not the one that we've got now, but our first website. And so we had just a very small handful of people from outside of Cape Town. You know, I had my existing clients in East London, obviously, in that area. But when the book came out, all of a sudden there were people all over the country. You know, people would pick up the book at the airport, for instance, and going out of South Africa. And so I've got a couple of clients who are living in Africa or in the UK and so on.
Wow.
Who read the book. And so all of a sudden our entire business went online. So I have meetings every week with my clients, 3 meetings a week, actually. Zoom meetings where we don't see each other, but I share my screen with them and we go through trading things and so on. And we've got a WhatsApp, sorry, not WhatsApp anymore. We started off with WhatsApp, but it's now Telegram group where we chat to the clients. So we're very hands-on with our clients. But as I said, you know, our business became entirely online.
Okay, so now I've got to get a wedge in there. What are your go-to applications that make you more effective as a leader and a business owner? What is your technology layer that you go to?
Well, the first thing is that we have our trading platform that people trade via the trading platform. And it's a very sophisticated, but also very user-friendly app, which you can have. There's an app that you put on your computer, or there's an app that you can put on your phone, so you can trade from your phone.
And is that yours? Is that SureTrade trading?
No.
App? Okay.
That is Velocity Trades.
Okay. So that's the foundation of the business that enables people to work. Yes, okay.
Absolutely. You know, they are what we call non-discretionary brokers.
Okay.
And a non-discretionary broker is a broker that just basically facilitates your transactions.
Yeah.
So they rely on people like myself to educate the people, to teach them how to use the platform.
Yes.
And to teach them, and of course to teach them how to trade, because so I'm not employed by them, but
you use their platform as a gateway into the market.
Absolutely, yes.
So how do we know, Ross, if a customer's not coming to you, if they're not going to go through Sure Trading, but they want to trade, how do we know what's credible and what's a fly-by-night?
I think a fly-by-night, you can quite safely say a fly-by-night is one that offers you incredible returns, which are totally unrealistic.
Okay.
So
if it's too good to be true, it's not true.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, in our case, as I said, they are non-discretionary brokers, so they're not using their discretion with your money.
Okay.
You work with your own money. They're just facilitating the transaction.
Okay.
And
so they shouldn't hold any of our money. We own the shares. That's another thing. So in a nutshell, what does Sure Trading do in the market for? So we've got a trading platform, a non-discretionary broker, and you've got access to it. What do you do then?
What I do is I introduce people. Most of my people that join me, having read the book, for instance, or they've just come across our website, they've been searching, they want to learn how to trade. They would come to us, and our job is to teach them how to do it.
So you're a training organization that gets them ready, and a coaching, mentoring organization for people that are taking their discretionary or their investment funds and saying, I don't want to give it to someone else. I want to own this, and I want to look at this. What percentage of my portfolio should be there versus in a traditional investment environment with a different broker, in your opinion?
I would say if you are interested in trading and in investing yourself, you want to do it yourself, you can put all of your money in there.
That's
so in other words, because within that you can diversify, you see.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me, before we go down that road, why do you think people don't take control of this? Why do you think Daniel has never has taken his investment funds and done this? What's the scary thing that stops us from lifting the hood on investing?
Well, it's quite normal for you to it's quite normal. We grew up with investing our money via investment managers and big companies and pension funds and things like that. And I'm not saying I have a retirement fund myself, which I've had all the years, but I've sort of left it with that. But what I've got is I've got a part of my account, part of my, that I use with our brokers is a long-term investment account. And so I decide which shares I'm going to buy, which exchange traded funds and so on. And then the other part of my account is what I trade with. And that would be a smaller amount, smaller amount. So it's the choice of every individual. So, for instance, you, in your situation, Daniel, you would have a pension fund or a retirement annuity or whatever it is where you are saving for your retirement. And that is absolutely fine. No problem at all. That's very good. But if you want to work with your own money, that's where we basically come into the picture. And of course, we don't talk property investing, but we will say invest in companies that are in the property market. They are listed on the exchange and so on.
So the most common reason why people don't do this is either laziness or they're uninformed. So laziness being, actually, it's too much of a hack. I don't want to. Yes, it's too much of a hack.
Yeah, I mean, you think of a doctor, a lawyer, those type of professional person, or it doesn't matter, actually, anybody who's very busy in their businesses, just think, let me rather just give it to the experts, just give it to the experts and let them do it, But, the thing is, who is more concerned about your future than you are? Nobody on the planet is more concerned about your future than you are. And so if there's any desire to learn how to do it, to learn how to work with your own money, then, we are the type of people that can help you when it comes to the stock exchange.
Are you seeing more people take control of their financial future now, or is there a drop-off?
I think it's a lot more people. We have these facilities where the person can do it themselves, and if there's an interest, for instance, in doing it, then you have all the facilities available to you to be able to do it, much more so than in the past. And yeah, so I think it depends on the person. It's not laziness. It's just when you're sick, you go and visit a doctor, and it needs to be a qualified doctor. And so you're not going to go to somebody that's not qualified. That type of thing. And so it's the same thing.
Yeah, for me, it's just a fear thing. It's just the fear of the unknown, which leads me, where do we become more informed? Where do you stay ahead of the game? Podcasts, websites, videos, books? What do you recommend? Give me a couple where we can up our financial savviness on trading.
I'm glad you asked that question, because there's so much out there. There's so many YouTube video clips and things like that. Before I give you an example, I just want to sort of give you a sort of a mindset that most people have. Most people enter this environment or arena, whatever you'd like to call it, with stars in their eyes. They think they've been told, on video clips and things like that, that they can make a fortune. Just follow my prompts and you're going to make a fortune, and they get this idea in their heads that they can just watch video clips on YouTube, and they've some very good ones. Most of them are very good, but they feel that they just need to do that and learn how to work on the platform, and that they're going to get rich, and with a very small amount of money. And this, of course, is just not true. And if you think about it, if you want to be a doctor, anybody who wants to be a doctor, wants to be an accountant, wants to be a plumber, wants to be an electrician, they don't even think of going to YouTube and thinking, okay, well, I want to be a doctor. Let me watch a couple of YouTube video clips on how to operate, and I'll be a doctor.
Yes. Yeah. Open your doors and expect patients to come through and trust you.
Absolutely.
Because you've done 2 YouTube videos. Or
absolutely.
20. Yeah.
And of course, but even so, even if I haven't made the YouTube video clips, but there's a plethora of video clips, YouTube video clips. But the point is that if you want to learn how to trade, it really is like embarking on a new career completely. Because if you think about any profession, how long did it take for them to study where they were not earning a cent, where they were paying out money for studying, and how long did it take, the discipline and all of those things that it involved to get to the place where they could say, okay, now I can make some money out of what I've learned.
But now, Russ, maybe that's the point of why people don't take the course. It's actually hard. It's a commitment you have to make. I'm making a change. I'm taking control of my life. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to invest this. That's hard. And people, people like easy. They like to complain, and they like to sit at the pub and talk around how rich they could become from trading, but they don't actually do anything. Okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah. So if we've embarked on it and we've taken it seriously, how do you stay ahead of the game? Do you have resources that you go to make sure that Ross is informed? And what are those? What's the cheat sheet to staying informed?
I think, the way you've asked the question leads me to believe that you're thinking in terms of the fundamentals. How much about the stock market do I need to know? How much about the individual companies?
But that's great context. Yeah. I'm saying, I know we'll get that from the course. I'm saying what gives you a layer over that, which is a regular update to trends and changes that's coming through. Do you read the Wall Street Journal? Do you read the Sunday Times? Do you listen to Investment for Egypt's podcasts, that kind of thing? So it's that layer above. I understand we need the foundation. We can get that from Sure Trading, and we can go on that course, and I'd like to find out more about that now. But where do you go to stay ahead of the curve?
Okay, I'm watching the markets on a daily basis because, first of all, I trade myself. Now, when I say trade. There are different types of trading. You can trade a 5-minute, in and out of the markets in 10 minutes, or in and out of the markets within the day, or a monthly or weekly or whatever. So I'm always watching the markets and the trends of the markets. And what we do on a daily basis is we've got a Telegram chat group that our traders are talking to each other, not all the time, but every day, and we communicate possible trading opportunities that we see in the market. And our traders, we have our folks asking questions on there, and myself or other traders answer those questions. I think it's all about community, just keeping in touch with folks. I have meetings. I have 2 meetings every Monday night, another meeting on Tuesday morning, and another meeting on Wednesday afternoon. So that's Tuesday morning when the South African markets and the European markets are open. That's when it's more active. And then on Wednesday afternoon when the American markets open. And so I have meetings. Now, not everybody can attend those meetings. But we record all of our meetings, and so those people who are not able, they're part of our client base, but they're not able to attend the meetings, they can always get the recording afterwards. So what we're doing then is not necessarily reading all the articles. These days you just subscribe and you just get a plethora of Bloomberg articles and MoneyWeb, and all of those fantastic companies that communicate all of that. So we keep up to that on an individual basis, but my job is to teach you how to trade. And so the meetings are where we discuss trading opportunities, and we discuss strategies. And what we found is that what I found over the years is that you can get what we call analysis paralysis, where you overanalyze everything and then never get into a trade. And so we just we've got a couple of strategies that we share, and I've got strategies that I share in my book, and I've got some very, very effective strategies which I'm sharing in my next book, which is coming out early next year. So it's still quite a process, yeah. And so I think that's one of the reasons why our book was such a success, was because I was able to share in the book specific strategies, and that's what people want to see.
That's a perfect segue into your market and into your business. You say on your website that you've got a small feeling, it's almost family business, and you want to remain small. Why is that? Is that not holding yourself back?
I don't think so. When I say remain small, I want to keep it personal.
Okay.
I want to keep it. I think that's one of the successes of our business over the years, is that we have a mentorship program, where we offer mentorship to clients. So I personally spend anywhere between 4 and 20 hours with each individual client on his own. This is apart from the other meetings that we have.
Yeah.
Or those are group meetings where all of our clients are welcome to be part of. But I spend, that's our mentorship program, and so I basically make myself available for them forever.
Okay.
Because I've got clients that started with us just after 2002, 2003, 2004. That are still in touch with us. Others aren't. People get involved with long-term investing, necessarily don't feel that they necessarily have to be in touch with us all the time. So there is always a fall away. with clients. But we've got just under 200 on our Telegram group. People that.
So you want to remain high touch. It's not that you want to remain small. Okay, good. I get that.
Yeah,
I would
maybe
change that.
Yeah,
I would change that just from being from a marketing background. What is the most surprising thing you've found about being a business owner and a business leader?
The most surprising thing I've found about being a business owner. That's a difficult one. One thing I've learned to live with, obviously, is that there are no guarantees. As a business leader in my specific industry, one of the most surprising things I've found is how people really come into this environment because they just want to make quick money.
Sure.
And just let me give you an example of somebody coming to me one day, and he phoned me and he said he's read my book and he wants to get involved in trading. Now, my book was a very, very, I felt, a balanced approach. In other words, I made it quite clear that you're not going to make a whole lot of money. In fact, don't even expect a profit after your first year. If you break even after your first year, you're actually doing quite well. So it's going to take a while. You
seem quite conservative and realistic about these things.
Yeah.
So I would expect nothing less from it.
Yeah. And this guy said to me, he said, do you think it's realistic if I borrowed 5,000 Rand from my auntie and promised that I would pay it back to her within a month? I said, that's crazy.
Oh, my word. Yeah. So
I had another person just phoning us recently, and he said, do you know anything about Bitcoin? So I said, yeah, I do. And so he said, I've just had an operation on my knee, and I'm going to be held up for 3 weeks here, and I want to make some money.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word.
So this is, it always surprises me, the unrealistic expectations that people have of this. And it's unfortunately something that has been fed to them. And people are always
popular media and the influencers and all the rest of it. We can make millions. Yeah. So you spend a lot of your time mentoring clients and the Telegram group and all the rest of that. Who's your business mentor?
I went on to I had a business coach a number of years ago, and that's a good couple of years ago, a chap by the name of Themi Sturgianus, who was an amazing mentor for me, and he really helped me, not from the trading side, but as a business coach. And he helped me a lot. At this stage, we don't have anybody really talking to us. What I do have is a lot of people phoning me, these overseas brokers, and say, won't you introduce clients to us and our platform, and so on and so forth. And I always have to tell them, look, I've developed a very almost a personal relationship with my broker, who I trust with my clients' money, with my clients, and I trust them myself. And I just, can't even consider leaving them and, going with somebody that I have no idea. I have no idea where the money is, that, because I've had so many people, for instance, Daniel, who contact me, and they've been in touch with brokers who promised them the earth, and they've told them that they've got X number of $1,000s that they've made out of the money that they put, and then they say, well, you have to pay us so much to get the money out, or they try and draw the money out, and then that's when the brokers disappear and things like that, so we've had a lot of
sad tales. Ross, we're coming to the end of our time. I want to know a little bit more about the course, but first I want to say, for someone who's looking to unlock their financial wealth and just to own this part of their lives and to dive into it, what's one piece of advice that you would give them?
I would say look into it seriously, because they find it very attractive because of the fact that you are, what better business is there than you don't have to have customers, you don't have to, you don't have to have staff, you don't have to have premises, you can just have a laptop and so on. And so it's a very attractive way of making money. But it's not going to happen overnight. So in other words, if you want to get involved, you have to be serious about it. And get involved with somebody like ourselves who really, that's what we do. We've been doing it for the last 20 years now, without that unrealistic expectation. But that will happen anyway. People just do come into this environment with unrealistic expectations.
Or maybe it's don't come in with desperate expectations. Yes. So if you maybe it's a better way. We're all in an economic crunch at the moment. If you need to make your petrol money, this is not the way to do it. This is a long-term view in your life.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But our whole focus, Daniel, is to help the person get to a place where they are sort of independent of us, really. In other words, they can, we don't invest on behalf of our clients.
You must do the work.
I'm wanting I facilitate the process of you learning how to work with your own money. Okay. And because the thing is, if you know how to trade and you just take your give yourself 3 years, give yourself 5 years before you expectant of making good money. But the fact of the matter is that when you know how to do it, you are positioning yourself to be able to generate an income for yourself on a daily basis, right well beyond your retirement years. Okay. How many people have reached retirement age and they literally haven't got enough money to live? And so that's the whole thing, is to just coach and facilitate and so on, and position them to be able to generate an income for themselves.
So Ross, what would it cost us? What do I need to come to Sure Trading to start this journey? And I need it in 2 minutes. How much do I need? What am I going to get? Where can I find it?
Okay. If you go to our website, you will see it's www.suretrading.co.za, and you can have a look there. We have sort of 3 things that you can do. The first one is that you can open a demo trading platform. It'll cost you nothing. Okay. And we will sort of help you around that. Then we've got a subscription service where you can become a monthly subscriber, where you would just pay us a monthly amount, and you can be part of our Telegram group. You can be part of, you can have access to the members section of the website where all our training material is, and where all of our, the recordings of our previous meetings and so on, where you can learn that. And that doesn't include any mentorship sessions with me. But that is a subscription of 500 Rand a month.
Okay.
And you can cancel it anytime. There's no, there's simply no contract that you embark on. I just don't believe that that's, you don't want to lock people into something so they can actually, get out of it if they want to. Okay. And so, in other words, it's up to us to provide value for them. Otherwise, they are going to.
How much must I come to get going? So you've said free. Is it that easy that I should go onto the website and I can go and have a look at what's going on? And then that's amazing. Why aren't more people doing this? Why haven't I done it? Come on, Ross. Come on, get Daniel going. Ross, what is your one question you wish that I'd asked you as we wrap up here? What is the one thing you want people to know?
What is the one thing I want people to know? I want people to know that anybody can learn how to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody can learn. I don't have a financial background, but I'm trading, I'm investing, and yeah, I think that's the big thing.
That's
anybody
a lovely way.
Yeah,
that's a lovely way of wrapping up. Thank you, Ross. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for trying to open the curtain so I can see into this, what is scary for lots of people. Me, it's a scary part of the world. I wish you all the best for the rest of this year, and I wish you so many people that the platform takes strain and you have to supersize it.
Well, that'll be wonderful. That'll be wonderful, Daniel. And yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to chat to you. The market presents opportunities every single day to make money. And so we're facilitating that process, and we just thank you. Yeah, I really want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat to you guys, and hopefully that will
let's make someone wealthy. So I'm looking at the website here, suretrading.co.za. It's user friendly, it's easy, even I can understand it, and your first taste is free. So from me, Daniel Robus, I would like to thank Ross for joining us. For all of our listeners who are around and want to get a handle on their own financial freedom, go dive into the website, have a look at it, and have an amazing Friday. And thank you very much. I'm going to go and learn how to trade. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.